The Department of Health and Human Services recently issued new guidance on the definition of sex, specifically what defines male and female.
Critics say these new definitions ignore the concept of gender and it alienates intersex people. 9 News medical expert Dr. Payal Kohli joins us now. Thank you for being here so we can have this important conversation. Let's start by you just talking a bit about what are the specifics of these new changes the new administration just put forth.
It kind of caught us off guard in the medical community, I have to say, but it was a top-down sort of guidance that this is how we define sex, which in medicine is everything. A man is somebody who has organs that make sperm, and a woman is somebody who has organs that make eggs. Now, they also went on to say that they don't want children transitioning, so doctors shouldn't be participating in that. And they had some guidance about trans athletes as well, that they should compete in their own categories.
So what impacts does these new guidelines from this administration and RFK Jr., what impact do you see it having on the LGBTQ plus community as well as specifically trans people?
I mean, it's unimaginable what this is going to do because we know that gender dysphoria is common. I mean, some estimates say 1 out of 200 people have gender dysphoria where they're trapped in the wrong gender. So they're born biologically one way, but they actually feel like they should be another way. So you can imagine how much alienation these people might have, leading to things like suicidality, which we know is higher when this is not treated.
What other problematic issues do you see, just with these new very strict guidelines? It's very black and white, and we know that's not how people live their lives.
It's too binary, ladies. It puts us in boxes, and we as people don't live in boxes. So I think we really need to think about, this type of political interference into the medical community, what it means for how we treat people, how we screen people, how we randomize people in clinical trials as male or female, what it means not just for how they conduct themselves in society, but how biologically we treat them, what types of treatments they might be eligible for.
And you just saying that, I thought of funding, right? I've talked to you about like a number of different papers that you have written and the funding that comes along with it. So having such narrow definitions, will that hurt funding for research?
I mean, they've basically eliminated an entire category of people that exists. And to me, this means they're not going to fund that category. And these are these intersex people. So an intersex person is somebody who's born neither male nor female. They actually have characteristics of both genders. Now, whether that means chromosomes that are overlapping, whether that means sex organs that are overlapping, but these are biologically, from a medical perspective, can't be put into a male or female category. So that doesn't exist in these new definitions. They don't have an intersex category, which means we as physicians will not know how to treat these people or what to do with them. And it's a large proportion of people. Some estimates say almost 2% of people can have these types of overlapping estimates. There's also something in the definition that bothers me, which is immutable, meaning it cannot be changed. So when you are born as male, it cannot be changed, or born as female, it cannot be changed. And that sort of finality of something, saying that something cannot be changed from a medical or biological perspective, to me is not scientifically accurate, and it makes it very difficult when we have someone we're dealing with gender dysphoria.
I mean, that is just scary to think about, and how it's going to affect you and all the physicians out there and how they handle their patients, because people come to you, and they want answers and they want to feel like, my health is who I am in my own body is taken care of.
Well, not only that, ladies, I worry about our children as well, because there are a lot of recent studies coming out, one out of the UK that says kids born today are much more likely, in fact, 50-fold more likely to experience gender dysphoria than kids born several decades ago. Now, I'm not sure if that's because it's more socially acceptable, we're actually diagnosing it more, that's called a diagnostic bias, or that is just increasing in incidence because of all the other factors out there. But if it's not accepted, kids are not going to verbalize it, adults are not going to verbalize it, and that means that angst that comes with internalizing it.
And what about non-binary? Is that now completely non-existent according to these guidelines?
So in this definition, it's non-existent. In a medical definition, it still exists in that intersex category. So that's where we as physicians are sort of left to grapple with, okay, now this is the definition. There's a new website defining this. That's an official government website telling us that it's male or female, nothing intersex, nothing non-binary. So how do we, if I have a patient sitting in my office in front of me who does have two X's and a Y and is neither male nor female, or has both, ovarian parts as well as clitoromegaly, where the clitoris gets larger, almost like a penis, how do I treat that patient?
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Dr. Coley, feels like there's so many questions
know.
still surrounding this issue, and we're glad that we have you to ask those questions too. So thank you for being here and shedding some light.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Dr.
it.
Coley.